So go ahead, Umar. Go ahead. Right now we have a few of them already on AppSumo, and there's like every second tool is every like other tool is coming on with a content writing tool. I don't know much about it. Um, uh, it's not one of my like Alston, and there's Albert and you, Sarang. I think you guys are more expert. Vinke is all in one, and Fernando. So how about you start, Umar?
I think I'm not an
What do you
expert
think?
in content writers, as at the moment I don't use content writers as a service for my clients. So when I buy content writers at the moment, it's purely for my own personal use to apply to my own businesses. At the moment, I'm still finding niches to be like really really good. I recently purchased Content Villain. I honestly I couldn't get past the UI. It's just yeah,
It's funny,
it's
right?
not
Isn't
good.
it? Looks
Yeah,
funny.
I spoke to the founder. I spoke to the founder. What I actually refunded it, and he
Hmm.
reached out to me asking why did you refund, and I said, listen, seems like a great product and all that, but if I'm going to use it on a daily basis, I can't deal with the UI. It's terrible. It's not bad. It's absolutely terrible, the
Yeah.
UI. So he said he's got a team in and they're going to sort it. So I've purchased another code and I haven't activated it. I've just left it there. So if it does improve, we'll look at that. Um, but for me at the moment, because I do a lot of cold outreach, Smart Writer AI is like my go-to for content writing.
Is there LTD for the smart AI? Is there LTD
Yeah,
for
it's on
that, or is it
AppSumo.
like
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
on
yeah. There is.
there is?
AppSumo Marketplace.
Okay, so just I'm gonna just make a note or just write down a comment or something because I'm actually looking for one. I already have phrase, and I have niches, and that's about it. That's all I got for now.
Yeah, with Smart Writer AI, they're also
Smart,
talking about yeah,
yeah. Is it the unlimited or is it the credit
No,
stuff?
no, no, no.
it's
They
credit
have
based.
the credits are fairly low, but out of all the things that are available right now in LTD, because niches, content villain, all those gives us unlimited thing. Content bot as well. They all give no copy. All these guys gives unlimited closest copy, but a few like Copysmith and Smart Writer is, I believe, right, RYTR. I think that is also making noise. There are a lot of people who have been telling that Writer is one of the best.
So
So
okay, I have a question. Okay, I know like the smart rider. You said it's unlimited credit or is it like credit system?
Credit based.
Credit base. Okay, so now just do anybody know? Maybe Alston will know. Does like the credit system? Why there is a credit system? Does it cost them to give unlimited, or what's the reason behind? I don't know how the functionality works. Is there an API? They're fetching the data from somewhere.
Basically what's currently happening is the reason we are seeing so many AI writing tools nowadays is because if we consider from a developer point of view, I'm not talking about the advanced functionality, but most of this data is coming from one or two sources. Either it can be OpenAI or different API endpoint, and they are just getting the data and they are trying all the different functionality present in any way as possible. So essentially, there is no much reinventing the wheel. They are using the same data source and getting the results as much as more. For OpenAI API credits, that's the thing. For example, even what every request, whenever you create a product description or article or anything like that, you press generate, it's going to be sending an API request back to the OpenAI, and they will charge a fee for the developer for that particular request. What richness and the other unlimited LTD founders are saying is that the LTD cost and the API cost, the compilation of all the API cost is really low.
Very
That
low.
even though they got give the LTD, they are sure enough. For example, another thing I noticed with the unlimited products is they are not typically based in USA or something like that. They are formed on a like a country with a low living cost or something like that. So managing
Exactly.
the product or managing the services become much more easier for them. So even though there is a individual API cost, they are not too much worried because we buy a lot more deals when it's either unlimited rather than a credit based, right? So we are invested a lot, and they are now saying that they have more than enough capital or investment to last for another 2 or 3 years without worrying about that. And probably during that time, API will be also grown, and also they might be focusing on MRR. So that is the reason some are giving unlimited, some are still having restriction on credits and all these things.
So, so how whatever the data they are fetching from wherever the API source where they're getting from, it's obviously not costing them so much. But do you think it will end up costing them a lot more? Like the prices, I don't know how the prices changes or not. Like it's all up to Google, right? Or whoever is giving the data, they control the price, or they might suddenly raise the price. Is there these are the concerns or not? Not happen very often, right?
There, there is so much concerns when it comes to open the AI part. For example, I'm not sure whether you guys know, before AI writing with this GPT solution, everything was syntax with replacing the words using thesaurus. These solutions were the popular one. The biggest solutions like Spin Rewriter, Spin Achieve, all these things, they basically didn't write anything with AI, just paraphrasing or rewriting the words and giving the words. But AI writer caves now into the market. There are so many issues from legal side, SEO side, ethical point of side, and also so much solutions also coming into the market currently. Currently it's allowing API endpoint to all, so I'm not sure whether they will still keep that as it is offering to everyone, or they might consider moving forward to an enterprise solution. For example, fully giving it to something like Microsoft or anything like that, because anything can happen at any point. This is like a volatile market. So if it did have same and more developments also coming into the play, I'm also not that technical into the GPT stuff, but I know the founders, they reached out to me and mentioned all the improvements happening all this way. So it's definitely going it, but I'm pretty sure within 1 year we are going to see all so many rules, regulations, and everything is going to be applied on GPT, because it's like mind-boggling, right? We know we just press a button and we are getting content, but we are not sure how well qualified the content is, how well it's researched, or what are the sources or something like that. So definitely a lot of legal issues will be going on moving forward. And I know that SEO wise, Google is already looking for solutions to detect these things, because as soon as marketing guys will only see these tools to create content for product description or anything like that. But SEO is such a huge industry, and we need content for SEO task. Can be money post or guest article, blog post, web 2.0, and so many people are offering these services. So they are paying writers currently based on like $15 to $20 based on their article. So if they can reduce that and offer this kind of use these kind of services to sell more this, and they are going to use this for a lot. And we will be seeing all this, most of this article getting indexed in Google also. Then there might be a point, if this AI does not keep on evolving, we will start duplicate content, because
Exactly.
there is a limit on that also. Every API point, if there is not much specific customization at the end, like whatever the service provider does, it's going to be just repeating the same thing at one point. I'm not saying currently, because there might be a lot of variation, but there we never check. That's why I always suggest, whenever you get a API AI content written and it looks readable, always make sure to put it into a plagiarism checker, Grammarly,
Okay.
Copyscape or
So
something like that, and do it.
So I have one question. So there's the event you hold a couple of days ago about the outreach. Uh, isn't that the same thing doing the AI? It's a more deeper. It's like more like phrase, but they are also using some sort of like content writing, like like AI thing, right?
Yeah, it's outranking. So
Outranking. Okay.
it's yeah. So basically, they don't want to be another competition for the AI writer. In my view, what I see from the tools
Yes.
roadmap or something like that, they purely want to focus on something like phrase, but that also they don't want to focus on answering bot or anything like that. That's not out of the scope. It's just for content curation and issue, and AI writer is almost like an additional bonus. If you want, you can do that. And yesterday's when I was watching the event of the founder, I saw he mentioned that currently they are using still GPT-2, not 3 itself. They are trying GPT-3 currently and doing some testing, but they will be probably switching to that also. So I don't think we will see like sales copy generator, product description, all these things there. It's just a bonus. Whenever you want to rewrite a title, you can do it. Something like every tool is now trying to use OpenAI or GPT into some kind of features inside that to give an additional benefit. And coolly say that we also have an AI feature within our tool.
Okay.
Right?
So, guys, if you guys somebody wants to read Fernando comment. He commented about some GPT-3 has a free Explorer plan, which gives you 100 free tokens and 2 paid plans. $100 per month, 2 million tokens, 8 cents per additional, 1,000 tokens, build $400 per month, 10 billion. So it is very cheap. Sound like very cheap to get
Fernando,
those.
do you know? Fernando, do you know whether there is a different databases for the plan, or every plan has a
Exactly.
universal database?
I was gonna ask you, Alison, the same thing. There's another tool that's I think is $100, conversion.ai. Uh, they are so where their data is coming from somewhere else. That's why it's more expensive. What is the deal?
Uh, to be honest, I can't 100% say because no one will totally reveal whatever the sources they are going using or internal algorithms or something like that. We can just predict whatever they mentioned out of it. But I think most comes the pricing comes from 3.1, the founder's wish and how they want to market the product. Another one is whatever the features, UI, usability all comes into play. And finally, there are algorithms to generate a reading copy. That is the reason we buy iPhones, right? Because any Android phones also does the pretty much the same, but there is a improved usability and a premium feel to the product. So that might be the reason, because for example we can't compare something like niches UI with a conversion AI UI, because as soon as we logged into both we see the differences and the usability. So that might also come into play. And also so many tools are coming, right? So everything is like confusion, and probably if we do the same live tomorrow there will be a couple more tools also into this play.
So why don't we just create our own tool for LTDs and then just blast it out, right? Because I see, I'll be honest, there's no offense to any founder, but I see a lot of founders, and I share my thoughts to some people, like the one. What was the name of all writer? So if you check the all writer founder, and so it looks like that he is still in college right now, and then and the product is on Deal Mirror right now. All writer, Kwenke, do you know which one I'm talking about?
Auto writer.
Auto writer, yes, okay. And I'm not sure like how should I trust somebody who is like maybe not even finished a college yet, and I don't know how they're getting to make this tool. I feel like it's pretty easy to do it, and that's why there are a lot of people are making it. Like it's I don't think it's a rocket science thing. I don't know. Maybe it's like a school project and they just bring it out as LTD. That's what it looks like to me. I'm serious. I'm being honest. Okay. So
See,
that's like you if you one more thing. Sorry, one more thing. If you remember, niches came out, content bot, content villain. All these tools. There something was very common. Their UX, their design was very basic. There was nothing like looks like a like 90s design. Even niches still that the design is not very good. Like it doesn't look like professional. So it looks like there's something easy way of making money going on. I think, and people who knows how to do it, they're just here to just grab the cash. Because there's not much effort put in the product, like how it looks like the front end, and the data is coming out from somewhere else where they don't have to work on it anyways. So the only
see,
only effort yeah, go ahead.
no, see, I tend to look at it slightly differently. See, this is a problem, and everybody needs a solution, and copywriting is not easy. So, for example, let me take my own case. Let me not talk generally. See, I come from a country where English is not native. It's we have a different language, and English is always a second language. So, how much ever we get expertise, uh, we still struggle to write good content, etc. And probably in an organization, maybe one or two will write, the others we can't even compose an email properly. Okay, and if you take my use case, my guys start use this even to generate emails, because it's easier. They just put it in whatever they want to put and then generate emails, and then they copy it in a Gmail and send it. And today it has become a lot more easier. Otherwise, every time I send a mail, I have to do a sermon saying that there is Grammarly available. Go to MS Word, do a spell check, this, that, and all those things. So here, it is more of the purpose that is more important than anything else. And at this moment, I think there is a lot of people who believe that writing is an art, which is not something that they would get pretty easily. And we all put précis. We know what to communicate, but okay, what is the right way to communicate is something that not everybody is good at, and mostly everybody feels that they lack in that. And I think that problem this is solving, and because there is a lot of demand, everybody is jumping in. And as much as you said, the development could be fairly easy. And to be very honest, while before we went live, we were discussing about various UI and all those things. I think none of the UI really bothered me, because I was only worrying about the content, and I only have to figure out how to get the content that I want and all those things. I was really not worried about whether it is 90s contents, etc., because I know what is the outcome that has to come out of it. So because I'm not going to spend time on the application, because I'm going to take the output and going to use it elsewhere. So this UI did not bother me, and I'm only talking about my personal experience.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
generalizing anything.
yeah. I got it, but the things what I'm saying, it's about the technical things that these guys know about, right? So I don't think the people who are bringing this, they don't have that much knowledge, because I can see like you can tell by the UI, like how good how much they know, right? And it looks like kiddish website, like content, like the one I think Omar returned it, content villain, right? You
Yeah,
refunded
but I
Yeah.
content
think
villain, right?
yeah, but I think at the same time, somebody may be good at developing a product, but may not have a good eye for design. So
No, but that's the
I
thing.
don't
But
think.
that's the thing. Sorry, that's the thing. Getting repeated by niches and all those tools. Same thing happening. So what I'm thinking, that there is some easy way of making this kind of program, and every second person is making that program to just make a quick cash. That's what I think it is, and they are not putting that much effort. They just want to get it out, and like. like we'll see what will happen, but I think there's something much bigger than this.
Yeah.
And I think the people I think who are doing it properly, they are out of LTD price range. They are going more monthly.
Yeah, no, I think I disagree because I really like Smart Writer. I love the UI. I love the experience. They're talking
Hmm.
about integrations with Sales Rocks and Texel, so they're really making
Exactly,
big moves.
exactly. So that they're not all of them I'm talking about. The most of them I'm talking about. You understand what I mean? Like not all of them are doing the easy way out, but there's most of them are doing easy way out.
I still think it's a bit of a generalization because I think most developers who bring a product to market want to succeed because it's their reputation on the
Yeah.
line. So if a product does fail and they've got their name to it, if they release products in the future, then they're going to really really struggle. And if being a developer is their main skill, then they're going to struggle for a livelihood. So I think when they do bring it, it's like most of these companies are startups, so they could be teenagers, they could be adults. So I think sometimes they bring us these half-baked products to the LTD space so they can get that revenue, generate that revenue, and then grow the business, get some UI and some UX designers in, and really build it. But the core of the business is there. It's them. It's the
and
developer.
and and then sell the product to
I,
somebody else, right?
That's
no,
up to
no,
them.
no. See, Omar,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I probably have a slightly different opinion to what you said. I'm looking at it from a developer's mentality, not from a business mentality. From a developer's mentality, primarily you will be bothered about the functionality. All the UI, UX, and all those things are secondary. I mean, as a developer, my first priority would be, okay, is it doing what it is expected to do? It is doing it well. I mean, have I tuned it well to do it in the best possible way? And typically, that is what even when I'm developing an application, primarily that is what would my concentration would be, saying that, okay, I want this number to get in and this has to come out. I want this to get in, this input has to come out, and this is the output that is expected. Once I get it, that is when I will look at, okay, can I, when I have time, and probably, as you said, these guys will be bootstrapped, so they may not have enough resources to work parallelly on all those. Once they reach a stage where they believe that they've given all the features that is expected and the functionality, they're very confident about the functionality, that is when they will really think about all this. Let me quote another example, I mean, slightly different. One of the very very popular subscription SaaS, which has been used by, I mean, I don't want to name it, which is used by fairly large percentage of SaaS builders. They do not have a proper analytics dashboard till now, and they are very very mature project. And now when people have started using it and they've started looking at numbers and all those things, only now they are waking up and saying, hey, wow, how did we miss this? Because that is not their core. So I think, I mean, I don't think they are coming out with half-baked product, etc. They have a certain functionality in their mind, and that is what is their primary. And once they reach that stage, that is when they look at UI, UX, and all this. And that's why even when they complain, saying that the UX is not good or UI is not good, they're not able to take it because I mean, their intention is, okay, I'm giving you the right kind of input, so on and so forth. If you take Smart Writer, they have created a niche for themselves, saying that, okay, this is all about cold outreaches, LinkedIn, and all those things. Whereas some of the other tools are generic. That is why, we are not able to really differentiate. Whereas everybody talks about Smart Writer because we very clearly know this is where I want to use. Closest copy at the same time has got templates which we can build and all those things. We very clearly know, okay, this is what we can expect out of them. This is how we can use. The generic stuff is, we try to do too many things, and somehow we end up in a place where we do not know what to use this for. I think that is where is the confusion.
So right now we have how many tools out there? Content Villain,
And
Content Bot, um, all
And
writer
and
something.
also one thing to note that it's true that all the apps are coming into the play, but as Fernando mentioned that it's most of the data is coming from OpenAI. For example, I remember saying that there was no restriction at initially, so every tool came out with a more general. I think OpenAI is really powerful, but now they are limiting all the functionalities because they don't want to get this thing out of control. That then there will be a severe legal issue for them, because any legal problem arise because of that, they are not going after a tool, they are going after the source, the open AI. It will be the biggest endpoint of it. That's why they are doing all the restrictions and everything. One thing we need to consider, that does not matter what the tool is functionality, what are the features they are going to add, all the data is going to be coming from one of these sources, OpenAI or anything like that. So any problems which is going to be happening on that end, that is going to affect all the service tools which are currently using that particular data source. So just need to be careful on that also, because most probably if they don't have multiple sources or multiple reliable sources or plan, if something goes down or some problem issues going to be happening, let's say for example OpenAI getting all this request and one day they decide suddenly we are going to make the all the current connection, all the service provider who got the access, we were going to validate it. We are going to validate by your company profile. We are going to validate by your let's say any sort of restriction they apply, then it's going to be applying to all the tools which is currently going to happen. So in that case, there should be some sort of initial way. I would suggest, if you're getting any sort of LTD or lifetime deal on this particular product, try to get your return on investment as much as possible in the. Yeah, that's the thing. Try to get it as much as possible.
Make sure you guys write down all the emails for the future.
That's the thing.
We've already got our return of investment.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. So if you get one product on LTD and you like it, try to get that whatever the money you paid in return. Like if instead of this, if you hired a person to write this, what is the cost, and would you have taken that back? Then keep it as it and keep it using as much as possible until there is any restrictions or problem, because that will be profit for you guys. So keep that mindset with you. And whenever any tool, I also personally don't think you won't need every single AI writer or deal. Just choose a couple of it with the founder's trust, or founder which you feel that giving all of his and seeing all these things, and keep that, because any features coming on one platform definitely going to be end up in another platform also. Otherwise you guys won't leave the founder. You will say that this is as this feature, why are you not bringing it into this? So that is going to also happen in this thing.
So I got some comments here on Facebook. We have Shiraj Singh. Conversion AI is awesome, as I'm using them for last week.
Yeah.
I think we all know Shiraj Singh. Is
basically and also one thing we know,
Alston, whatever you said about these kind of AI, AI writers holds good for any LTD, right?
Yeah, that's what anytime I go and ask whether can I invest on it.
There's nothing special about these tools, that holds good for
any tool you buy, make sure to get the return on investment. Most probably it will be like most probably it's like based on our gamble, we can't even make an informed decision, because anything can happen at any time. We see this, and if we are building solely a full business out of this, then definitely it's a risk factor involved also. Any SaaS can happen. Acquisitions are happening, closing down is happening, new change, new direction, everything is right. So just and also not like SEO tools. SEO tools, these are not perfect tools. Every person will have a different workflow. Every person will have a different preference on their writing. What are the data they want to see? Differ for their industry also. For example, a content which I'm getting for digital marketing, education, or SEO industry will obviously change for weight loss or something like that. So one tool might do one industry really good, one might not. So just pick 3 tools you like and keep it. For me, currently, nicheness is good for short stuff and unlimited. And my favorite for a guest post, a backlink article, or second tier article, I always go with Right Sonic. I saw this question, so just mentioning my personal ones. And for money side article or blog post which require a human to read, so we want to keep the attraction towards it. I'm currently using Shortly AI.
Short AI, and the second one was, sorry?
Shortly AI for the money, Right Sonic for the second tier article, and third one nicheness for the short descriptions.
Okay. And we have one more person, I think he is on Facebook. He's asking who's the guy on the left head speaking some wise word. So I think you got some fan, Omar. Did you hear that? Don't fall asleep on us, buddy. So somebody just commented, who's that person on the left bottom with the cap speaking some wise words? So I think whatever you said, they liked it.
Who is it? Who made that comment?
It's Unshal Shah. Unshal Shah. He's on the. You'll see his comments on Facebook when. So I know Fernando was saying something good about Content Villain, that he's grabbing some codes and he'll be reselling it.
And also see the issue what Fernando mentioned, that any AI tools using OpenAI can get banned for repeated violation against the terms of use, and we are out of money. So they do monitor this stuff. For example, the approval process, even if you get past approve and OpenAI sees that it's some kind of violation or competitor reporting, anything can happen, right? So this space is getting competitive. So if there are some problems with this, and if the developer loses some license, I'm talking about extreme cases. If that person happens to lose license, then we need to wonder what's the state of LTD or purchasers who made the decision for it. If will the OpenAI reconsider, or will OpenAI reissue the license? We don't know about those things, right? So just so much volatile.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to leave now. Love you.
All right, I'm gonna name you wise man from now. That's what
I wish.
So your best tool, buddy. Your best tool, please, before you leave. Your content. What smart writer? Okay.
Yeah, smart writer.
I'm writing it down because I need one. I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna play around.
Between that and niches is just brilliant because it's unlimited. You can play around with it. I remember when I first bought it, we were creating little I was sat in this room with my 2 daughters, and we creating little stories and then reading them out. So it was a lot of fun. So I got my money back there.
So it doesn't have a rewrite feature, like you just select and just rewrites its own thing. No, it doesn't have it, right?
No, this is purely.
Closest Copy has got that. Closest Copy has got that.
This is purely based for cold outreach. You can do other things, but I use it for its main purpose, which is cold outreach. It's brilliant. You should check it out. There's
cold outreach means like emails.
Yeah.
So like for example, if I'm writing an email to a client, then I can use that. Why don't I just write it on my own? Why do I need a tool for that?
We don't need a tool. It just makes it easier, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as blessed as you to write well, so I need.
If that's the case, you don't need any tool, Suleiman.
I think it's more about rather than just giving you option, it's just for inspiration.
Yes.
You go with when you open up an email body, that's the point you would think, okay, do I need to write more? Do I need to talk about this? Do I need to say this? Or something like that. Just, it's like you have another 5 person in the room and all of them giving, why don't you say this? Why don't you say that? And from that,
I was actually planning to
in Smart Writer, there is this feature of icebreaker. Did you see that, Omar?
Yeah.
I think
That's
very nice. It kind of looks at their profile, tries to get
I'm just gonna put this in my cart. I have AppSumo open. I'm just gonna put in my card right now before I
In
forget.
fact, I'm actually testing another tool which is still not come to LTD. Hopefully, expecting it to come, called Lyn, Lyne, which also does whatever Smart Writer does. I found the founders to be fairly responsive and very interactive, and the tool is getting there. I still am not fully convinced with the results, but I really like the output that is coming out of that.
So
There was
this
one other tool which probably was there. I really liked it, but somehow it derailed. That's called Kriya.ai. And in fact, now they've changed it to Calendar, which I believe does a lot of other things. But somehow the LTD bombed. In fact, the founder refunded. For Kriya. So which also does what Smart Writer does. I probably feel that they were the first ones to come out of all these. I really like the way that they gave me the list of people, my targets, and what is the email that I need to send them. In fact, they had an outreach tool as well. But I really do not know why they themselves, closed that product.
Okay, so there's Umar. Just for one more thing, so these guys, Smart Writer, they have about 92 reviews. How many are those are real reviews? Do you know?
91 are incentivized.
Is there intensive going on those or no?
There is an incentive that is going on where you give one comment and one video, you get 8,000 extra credits per month.
Yeah, something like that.
I
Yeah.
don't like that. That's my problem. Big problem is that because we don't know, is it really good or is it just
People using it here telling you it's good, brother. But the thing is, with any tool, Suleiman, you have to try it yourself and see if it fits within your workflow. If it doesn't,
I want Fernando to run one live session as to how to write reviews using these kind of AI tools.
This guy, he told me he'll be online in 1 hour. He will be on his phone. So I said, okay, fine. It's been already half an hour, more than 1 hour. He's still not on he's still showing his picture with his glasses on. And he's the one who encouraged me. I asked him, you want to go online? He's like, yeah, let's go online. Let's go live. Okay. I'm going to create a banner. We go live.
And if I'm not wrong, I think I believe at least one of the product I saw him generating the review and putting it on
he did.
He
uses niches.
He used niches. I didn't want to name the tool, but then if I know that, then it'll be easier for us to get all these incentives.
And also one thing to note, as one of the commenter, Sacho, I hope I'm not mispronouncing, he said that it has great reviews, but not sure they are real reviews. To be honest, I don't think you can't differentiate easily from a honest review or different review from AppSumo, because even if the founders are not offering any incentivized reviews, mostly some buyers are going to be asking them, if I provide a review, are you going to be doing some incentive for me, something like that. It's going to keep on happening because it's a kind of a trend. Like if I want to post, is there something like G2 is something similar to is happening on AppSumo, where we get extra deal limits, where we G2 it's like getting Amazon coupon or credit or something like that. So obviously, if you get any reviews from like the stock or community in Facebook, that's not going to be incentivized, because we are not giving away anything to talk their honest opinion. But any reviews on platform or popular review sites definitely going to be incentivized in futures.
Yeah.
So that's just wanted to let me say.
Even
but actually, we discussed this in one of our earlier talks as well. This is going to stay. See, the only thing is probably we have to look at 3 stars or 4 stars, instead of the 5 ones. Because see, I wouldn't blame the founders as well. They are asking for honest review, but somehow we feel guilty because we're getting incentive. Our honesty tends to be 5 stars only. So It is
And also, I'm not sure whether this is true or not, but some founders that they can approve or disapprove reviews. I'm not sure which that is true or not, because I haven't sold
It's
anything
true.
on platform. But it's true. Then, if the founder is honest person, they will leave a review. But let's say, for example, in a situation, what happens if that's not get approved? We need to think about that also. We're not sure, right?
See, I have got incentives, and I've given 3 stars and 4 stars as well, and those have also been listed. So I don't think
I just think
I
we just use this review as a basic guide and see one or two videos if they have a demo video or review
yes,
video, and just try it out yourself. Most probably will have a free account or something like that. And also in AppSumo, it's easy to get a refund, so you don't need to worry about it. Also,
yeah.
if you think it's not suitable for you, you just keep it. And one more question I saw was one of the person asked whether what from my testing which SaaS is going to be staying or something like that. I honestly can't say anything on this open AI rate stuff. That's why I mentioned that try to get the return on investment as soon as possible, because it's not their own data source. If they have own data source, if they have multiple data source, if they have some kind of capability, then I can say this for SEO tools or any project management, because they have the total control with them. Even if one goes down, they have another tool. But most of these tools are getting built around one or two different AI writing solutions. It depends on what that person is going to be doing. So as long as you are getting a usable product, try to get and as much as value from it possible. If it works in future, it's going to be a benefit. If not, at least you would have gotten a return on investment. That is the motto I am currently going with this AI related stuff.
In fact, on that front, I mean, at least let me come with, in these AI tools, while everybody is giving unlimited credits, etc., there are few tools which are giving limited credits. So somehow I tend to have slightly more this thing in them, saying that they are more worried about the MRR and all those things. So and that is why I though it is contrary to the popular uh, this thing. I still like Copysmith because in spite of everybody telling them give unlimited credits and all those things, they're stuck to that, and they've also got funded. And somehow, I mean, I tend to believe that okay, maybe I'm getting only rationed credits on a monthly basis, but somehow I have a feeling that I'll get it for a long time because they are also worried about their investment and all those things. I could be wrong, but this is what is the logic that I use. When there are similar tools that are giving unlimited, and if these guys are not giving, I think they have a long-term plan rather than just seeing, acquiring customers right away. So that way, I'm slightly
Optimistic.
favored towards Copysmith and SmartWriter.
So, how many codes you have for Copysmith? How many codes you bought? 2. I bought 1. I refunded.
I bought 2. I think 50 credits is good
I
enough for me.
I also bought one code, but I refunded because I was never able to test the product. I bought it on
Neither.
AppSumo. The code was not working, so I contacted the AppSumo support. The guy was really helpful. I forgot his name, but he was really helpful. You wouldn't believe me, I sent around 20 different messages to the Copysmith guys to make sure that code works, but I didn't get any reply except automatic replies. For some reason, I thought if they are not responding to me, and there are so many other alternative solutions, why bother? I refunded it, and I thanked the AppSumo guy. He was also trying really hard. He was always mentioning all the different people from Copysmith and asking him to respond to my query, but it didn't work. So I just, in the end, I refunded it and I just moved away. So I didn't check it.
See, I'm not trying to support anybody.
No. I also
Okay,
I also copy.
I did not have a problem at all.
Yeah,
For a short time, they had an issue because they are overwhelmed with the number of tickets. Due to the number of codes that were bought in AppSumo or other platforms that they were selling. And I think they communicated fairly well, saying that we are overwhelmed, and they took it. I think some 2 weeks they were kind of unreachable, and after that I think they caught up fairly well.
Yeah, and also for things, what I really liked about Copysmith is that their professional ethics when it comes to lifetime deal is really good. That's why I wanted to try it. I just bought it like one day before the expiry date of Copysmith deal on AppSumo. That's when I bought it after seeing, because they saw Stack Social was giving a great lifetime deal. Stack Social was giving a lifetime deal, lesser price when they used their coupon compared to AppSumo, and they immediately saw it and they said that that coupon no longer will be valid because we want to support early adapters. And they also secured funding, which is another good sign.
Absolutely.
So these are the reasons I wanted to try it out, because they were really focused, but not sure. I think so many people were messaging them at the end of the deal period. Obviously, most people will be buying these stuff at the last time just for the FOMO effect. So anything can happen, but not too worried. I think Copysmith is really great investment for something like Venki, who already started using it. So he's getting return on investment. It's not just sitting on shelf or something like that. So for them, that good. But if you missed Copysmith also, don't worry. There are so many other solutions also in the market. You can easily get as something like that.
Yeah.
We had one question from Fernando. Sorry, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
This is turning great. So he's liking it. Fernando is enjoying it, but he's commenting it. So it's pretty good. Like he's on it, right? So I wanted to talk about just a couple of tools that we actually I posted on the Content Villain. Anybody tried Content Villain yet?
I did.
Content
Villain.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, are you using it? Are you keeping it or not?
No, I have not started using it yet.
Not started using it?
In fact, I was more interested in their bespoke, this thing that they will do for us. But then, I still haven't done that. And in fact, yesterday they had an update saying that they are now using GPT Neo. I do not know what it is, but I believe for their long form content, they are using GPT Neo, not GPT-2 or GPT-3. I really do not know if it's good or bad, because I do not know what's happening in the background. I only use it as an end user.
And also one point I want to add in long form editor, which I'm currently repeating again, don't try to use your long form article, whatever it's generated, directly inside your website.
Yes.
That will be, I would recommend not to, because this has happened before. I'm not sure about you guys know this solution. Like 3 to 4 years ago, there was a really popular article writing solution called articlebuilder.net. What it does was, it used it rather than writing, they hired writers in the market to create really good article, but not focused on one product or something like that, but generalized. For weight loss, they will have some kind of tip based article, and everything was writing, and they used spin tech software to spin all this in sentence level, paragraph level, word by level. What the final output was, you get like thousands of variations from one single article, which reads really good and generic and works really good for any sort of backlink, guest post, or anything SEO based. The problem what happened in a longer stage was, so many people were using these things. At one point, all the articles were started to get duplicates. Like everything started to exist in the internet. If you take one sentence and paste it here, you will find like 1,000 different websites using the same thing. So whatever the output you are getting in long form, try to always put your final touch on it, like rewrite something, add some more paragraph, some more different stuff. That way, even if it's unique now, you also will be safeguarding in future also, that you don't make sure that it's just duplicate and just not looking like a generic article. Like, you will need a final human touch to make sure that it's correctly aligned with your final readers.
Yes, so that's the thing, right? So this you have to be careful. You still have to like make changes to the content. You still have to read through the content, whatever you're rewriting it, rather than just like copy pasting it, or just like you still gotta work on it. And I think that's why I like the tool, the one you did the demo. The founder did the demo. That
Outranking.
yeah, outranking, it kind of helps you. It takes time, but it's that's the way it's supposed to be done, I think. Where people are just writing some content, spinning the content on, and let the bot write it. And so we'll see what happens. How many people website will get plagiarism, and and shut down.
This is the reason I still use Shortly AI as my main blog post article companion, because there is no one click generation in Shortly. It is like a plain background. You should know all the instructions. It's not an easy tool to use. There are so much instructions you need to learn, like so much education. But once you know, you can effectively create a much more readable and human. You will be creating everything. There is no one click solution in Shortly. So based on that, you can easily create. So it depends, and we only can assume what is going to happen in future with all these things. These are just assumption. Hopefully they might not come true if OpenAI keep on developing, but we need to think from a logical point of view. There will be a lot of legal issues, what I'm predicting in future regarding this auto writing stuff.
Authorize. Okay. There was another tool, I believe. The one is on Deal Mirror right now, called Writer,
Auto writer.
Auto Writer. Sorry. Anybody used it yet or no?
I have stopped. I'm not going to buy any more GPT-3 tool.
So how many you have already bought? Just give me the number, or just give me the count. Like how many? Name it.
Copysmith,
Copy Smith,
Content Bot, Content
Content Bot,
Villain, Write
Content
Sonic,
Right. It's on.
uh,
Okay.
Closest Copy,
Okay.
Smart
Close the
Writer,
top. Smart Writer. Okay.
Smart Writer,
Okay.
Go Copy, Go Copy.
Go copy too. Okay. And what about niches?
Yeah, niches.
That would be
How did I forget it?
that would be his first purchase. I'm probably think
So it's
the
about
reason why.
8 of them, right? 8. I think 8 of them, right?
Eight,
You said 8,
eight, eight.
almost 8. Why not just buy 2 more and make it 10? You
No,
have
see,
Copysmith too. Copysmith too. You didn't count the Copysmith.
no. You see, if you take it that way, I did buy Kriya and I did buy. I mean, I'm actually working on Lin, so it's 10.
It's 10 now. So guys, here we go. You didn't buy Phrase?
I did buy Phrase,
So why not counting Phrase? So you
but
you
Phrase
are
is
out there, man.
No,
Hey,
Phrase is not a full
Phrase
content
is not a
generator stuff.
AI tool, right? It's not that content generating tool.
What about the Blogly? I don't know if you
No, I didn't buy Bloggly.
Alston, you
Somehow
remember it was good one, Blogly. I don't know what happened. Is it
No,
still
it's
good
still,
or
but Blockly is not totally about
Hey,
rewrite.
Fernando,
It is
why are you
managed.
refunding closest copy? I thought that is. I mean, I'm enjoying that. Is there a reason that I do not know? Let me know. I'll follow suit. Fernando's message saying that I'm refunding closest copy.
Mhm.
Let's wait until end of. Oh my goodness. Then I will not be able to refund Fernando.
So we have Fernando have Copysmith, Content Villain, RYTR, niches, Phrase, and Closure Copy.
So where
And
does market views in this? They also have some AI writer, right? But very less credits.
That is auto draft, right?
Hmm.
It's credit based. It's not recurring part of the lifetime deal. Once you
Yeah, I know.
exhaust it, you
Only
need
one time. Yeah.
I haven't touched on my AI draft until
I know.
I'm so eager to exhaust that.
I don't think none of us would touch it actually, just for the fear of losing it. It will be there forever.
so we have one question from Suman. Can you please, which one is better, Run the World or AirMeet. I think it's AirMeet, brother, because it's looks more professional. It does work better on iPhone or Android device.
I
Um,
think feature wise, yeah, mate, deal limits wise, it's run the world.
Run the World, exactly. The short answer would be that. Also, the resolution is not the best, but we don't feel it. Alison, don't you? It's fine, right? You can see me nice, clear. I can see you clear,
It's good,
actually.
but I really hate that it only support Chrome or Chromium browser. It does not support Firefox or something like that. I always
Exactly.
get notifications, so that's a bit troubling. But I haven't tested the app. Hopefully, it turns out to be good.
So also Suman also said with Happy Scribe you cannot make reels, but with Spoke you can. It's REELS. I don't know what it is.
I also don't know what it is.
No, okay. So there's something that you can do it on. You cannot do it on Happy Scribe, but you can do it on Spoke. Okay.
Yes.
Are you gonna be buying it or no? The Spoke.
So
Alison.
no, for me, I don't care about meetings because I don't transcribe meetings. I
Okay.
only wanted it for YouTube videos, and AppyScribe does it, so I'm not going to
Okay.
buy it.
Okay. Suman also said with perfect recall you can upload unlimited duration time videos. So
That's
I
right.
have that. I have that one. I bought that one thanks to Winke. Oxygen Builder all the way. That's such
Yes.
Yes,
wall.
Yes,
yes.
but you need to know a little bit of HTML and CSS to work with Oxygen. That's a, whereas in
Uh,
Elementor you can
if
do it.
you're if you're using oxygen, mostly mainly a couple of things comes into play. One, your skills on HTML or anything like that, and
Yes,
the actual hosting environment itself. Does not matter how good a plugin or service you use. If you are using on a bad hosting with oversharing or something like that, that's going to definitely affect your stuff. And amount of resources you're going to be inserting into the actual web page itself. If it's like too many images, and then you need to be optimizing all these things. Personally, any good hosting with Oxygen or Generate Plus, Bloxy, Astra, that will come into play, and Gutenberg will blocks or anything will generally be much more faster compared to Elementor or Divi, these kind of stuff. But you can optimize it for a bit, and it's really easy to build landing pages and everything with this kind of functionality. And something like 10 web, it really helps a lot, like to copy a Elementor page quickly within seconds and build out a page. So that's why I didn't check out this page builder solution, because that's not for me. Whatever the services stuff, I don't create landing page for temporary use, mostly for permanent use. So when I create landing page, I always like to have full control over whatever the things I'm building on it, so I can SEO optimizing without worrying about plus platform restrictions and everything. That is the reason I don't go for it. But page builder makes a job much more easier for newbies who don't know much about WordPress or other plugins.
So right now, which one are you using for your primary websites? Like the one you are
Uh, I
like the.
I used previously. I was using Generate Press with Elementor, but
Mm,
the speed was still an issue. But Generate Press is a great base, not too technical like Oxygen, but not
mm.
too bloated like other things, but a good solid base theme, and we can build upon it. But now I see that Gutenberg is going to be the future, because WordPress is not going to be dropping on that, and there is so many good functionality with plugins also coming into Gutenberg. So Generate Press team itself building something called GP blocks. And when both one team is developing both product, we know the compatibility will be really high because coming from the same guy. So currently I'm moving to Generate Plus with Generate blocks, and you can pretty much build anything from it. So I'm using that.
There is one something coming from this same blog. What do you how do you say that name? Uh,
GP
Gutenberg.
blocks.
Yeah, something
Okay.
Gutenberg, something coming up. Builder. I'm trying to think. I saw it on AppSumo, I think. AppSumo, or where did I saw?
Stackable. Is it stackable?
Yes, I think so. Yes. You are right. Stackable.
Yes.
So is it something
Yeah.
you will be buying or what?
Me
Listen.
personally, I won't buy because generate blocks I can build anything I want and it's developing in a rapid stage. But anything to do with Gutenberg, it will be really good because you are no longer using a separate one, but you are just building based upon the generate blocks. So anything is good, but I won't be personally needing it because I can do anything on GB or even with custom blocks also, for example.
Okay. So we have one more. Sum, Suman, you should come on the stage. He's asking, did you use swipe pages for landing page? So yes, I am using swipe pages. I don't know. Did you bought it, Alston? Swipe
No, I
pages?
didn't buy it. No.
Why?
Totally right. WordPress is my go-to.
Yeah.
WordPress is my go-to solution. I can do anything on that, so I don't worry about it.
Exactly. That's what I thought because I think once you have a comfort level, it's better not to switch around too much, right?
True, and also I don't like to depend on my main site into a page builder or something like that. I always like to have full control over it. Anything can
Mhm.
happen, so I don't like to keep main site landing pages. It's really good. You can immediately build up something like that. But for main sites or something like that, I got used to WordPress. Now I can build like templates or good pages within like minutes. We can use Elementor plugins, we can use theme starter sites, we can use other stuff like elements. If you go into Inventor element, there are so much styles there. We can pretty much use anything. And if we have, I've been using WordPress for like 10 years, so I don't necessarily need the styles. Also, I can pretty much build it from scratch, but it's easy for me, so no point on going
So
with that.
yes, I was gonna just ask you what Breezy Cloud. Did you use it?
No, I didn't do it.
No, I haven't. I was thinking of getting a Breezy Cloud from a reseller or something, but everybody's asking too much money.
I heard Brizzy is really good. I heard Brizzy is really good. This part. What the advantages for swipe pages and Brizzy is when you go with them, you don't need to worry about hosting. You don't need to worry about optimizing the hosting speed, optimization, caching stuff because those happens. These guys already optimized it. That's why when you create a page with web starts or swipe pages or Brizzy Cloud, you get amazing speed scores because it's
Yes,
already optimized. You're just
optimize.
building
Yeah.
out it. Yeah, but when
Right.
it WordPress, we need to optimize it. But it's not difficult, but you need to know all the ins and out with that to optimize it
Oh,
perfectly.
with WordPress, what I found, like if you're trying to achieve a good speed, optimized website, you gotta give up pretty much all the plugins and all the JavaScripts. Like,
It's true. And also, I see the reason. For example, most people recommend Ghost over WordPress, but we think of it that lacks customization as much as WordPress. It might be good for a personal blog, but when we consider all the marketing stuff we need to put into SEO customization level, WordPress is good. WordPress is not going anywhere. For example, it's currently powering over 41 percentages of the old world website. We see so many big authority sites are using WordPress. The big companies, big organization, government institution, and there is so much community behind WordPress plugins, themes. So WordPress is a really good base solution. You choose when you choose services, themes, plugins. Always think from a performance wise more than the features or something like that, and choose the decision based on that. Then you should be really good with WordPress itself.
yeah, but that the problem, I think. Sorry, I'm gonna ask you a little bit some tough questions because I always struggle with WordPress. Like I'm using WordPress, and I've been using it for a couple of years. I was using Joomla. I don't know if you remember
Yeah,
Joomla.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was
I
using
also
Joomla,
started.
and then I switched to because everybody was saying, "Why are you not using WordPress?" I'm like, I don't know what WordPress is, but then I found out. So it's a learning curve for me. But before that, I was using OS Commerce. I don't know if you know OS Commerce is.
That I don't know. That
No,
I
okay.
don't
So
know.
that was OS Commerce I was using. But with WordPress, like, see, if you want a good looking, nice website, you can't get it and you have to compromise the whole layout and no animation and no, like, there's a lot of elements that that WordPress you can do to make your site looks like fancier, like animated icons and some shiny stuff.
It's true, but what you need to consider is, for example, I'm taking one example in WordPress situation. For example, most people would love to use a animated slider or animated hero section. If they search
Hero
for
section,
in theme,
exactly.
if they search for best slider in theme forest, you would probably see as rev slider as the top rated one, but it's very amazing in looks perspective. It does all the stuff really good, but the performance wise it's horrible. It takes too much resources, too much load. If you put it into a speed test, it does bad for that. But if you want same finder for something like another plugin called Smart Slider 3, it is much more performance oriented but gives a lot of feature stuff also. That's what I mentioned in WordPress. If when you have encounter a problem, always try to find a good reputable one. I'm not just talking with the rating, but from a performance wise also. Make sure that, because you have the control over it, so if you know what it does, you need to choose the plugins and themes perfectly, and you also need to have optimize your site and also website environment also perfectly, and you still can get good score. For example, some of my blog oriented sites still get A, but I'm not concerned about score number because that does not make any sense. As long as when user comes into your website and feels the website is load, they go into different pages, everything is load snappy, that's more than enough. So don't compromise too much animations or make your site look broken when they come to your website. Try to find a manageable spot. As long as you don't feel slow, then your site users also won't feel slow. So just keep that in mind.
So we have somebody, we have Sajwal for WordPress. As long as you have decent server, decent CDN, and proper caching performance, should not be an issue.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's
Yeah,
if we
he's
have all these things, he's good. I think he's probably good at it too. That's why he already knows all these things. If you manage all things correctly, you have an unlimited site. You don't restricted by views or resources. It's just hosting and everything. You have full control of it. It's just you need to know how you to set it up perfectly. That's all the thing.
But I think one of your website you don't have a CDN, or you're using the Cloudflare. I think you're using Cloudflare, right?
Yeah, just Cloudflare. Oh, I don't subscribe to premium CDN, although I
Oh, okay.
like Bunny or Rocket, but I don't necessarily need it because with just a Cloudflare free version, it's very good because I'm not using CDN to optimize image. I'm using short pixels to do that. So only for the website HTML caching, CSS and JavaScript, I'm using caching, and Cloudflare does it really well. So free Cloudflare is much better.
Much better. Yeah, I have used Cloudflare, but sometimes when I have installed it, I end up my website start actually the ranking goes more down. Like not ranking, the score goes down after Cloudflare. So I'm like I remember that was I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I spent whole night just trying to optimize my website. I got it to A. I got it to A. To be honest with you, I got it to A. I was on C, and I had to just delete some plugins and reinstall some plugins and start using some JavaScripts. But I got it to work. So I'm
And
glad.
also, one new initiative, if anyone who's not watching did not know about it, Cloudflare started to introduce a bit before something called Cloudflare apps. For example, if you are using any third-party services, and if it's really popular, they automatically provide those kind of apps where you don't need to load the resources from your server, but you can directly load it from the Cloudflare cache itself. For example, one example is if you're using talk to chat solution, it's a free solution for live chat in your website. It's really big, so they do offer something called Cloudflare app for talk to. So if you are connecting your talk to directly from Cloudflare, when the website is loading through Cloudflare servers, it's no longer bringing the resources from your server for talk to. It will be using from Cloudflare, so it will optimize your speed and much more. So there are solutions too like that exist in also. And also when you are using external solution like embedding a chat widget, embedding a feedback widget, always try to put those codes not in your header but inside the footer. So when the site is loading, even if you're getting slow speed score, but when you put resources in your footer, the priority will be given to the any elements which is available on the within the header like CSS or something like that. Then the user will see the speed much more better, the usability will increase, and later once it has processed all these things, it will take the footer scripts and load that also. So those options also available.
I want to ask you one more thing. So that option on the Cloudflare that you can third-party apps can be like you can install those scripts. Those are paid or free?
The service is free, but for example, talk to solution is free. There can be paid solution like chat, you pay something else and you can integrate. You can just go to Google and type Cloudflare apps or something like that. You will see more information. The service is free.
The service is free, and you said about something about the footer, right? So now some of the like the one we use, like for example that we use was it continually bot star, they all recommend to use it on the header section or body section.
True.
So you can still put it on the footer. Is it okay? Is it cool?
You copy and paste it in footer and see whether that works. Some application will allow it to work, some do not. So if it worked, then you can use it on footer. If it does not work, you need to put it on header. In that case, what you can do is you can use a speed optimization technique called DNS prefetch. It's available in mostly any caching WordPress plugins. You can insert it. You provide whatever the URL and put it into the DNS prefetch. It will improve the loading speed much more better on that.
That's something I have to learn. That I have to check it out how to do it. No idea how to do it, but I don't know.
That all these features are existing in WordPress or additional plugins. We just need to figure out how to use this really good. So that's the hardest part when it comes to WordPress. Learning curve is there.
Okay, perfect. So guys, I think we should end. Alston, it's what time is it? This went almost. What time we started at 12:30 or something? I think. Oh, my time was 12:30, I believe, and now it's been 12:30, 1:30. So I think it's been GP. Okay, what is Fernando saying? Thank you, Sam, Venke. Thank you for joining us. Next time, please come on stage because we really want to see you. The whole thing that we are doing here to see, to connect with you guys, to see each other. And sometimes we feel like that we are different or we have different opinions, but at the end when we talk to each other live, it makes it more personal, that I know this guy, I know his comment, it's fun, it's more enjoyable. So please come and join, come on stage, don't be shy. We are we are not wearing a suit and tie here, so don't worry. Come and feel free to talk. Hopefully next time we'll be testing more LTDs, and always buy what you need. Don't just keep buying like me, or like I'm trying not to buy, but I always recommend just buy what you need, and stay safe wherever you guys are. Oh, he's asking me how to come on the stage. Brother, I've been telling you to come on the stage. I've been reading all we have on the description, we had a link, but I think we wanna, Alston, you wanna go, right? We are done now, right?
Yes, I have to record another video. Sorry about you guys.
Yeah, he has to record another video, and then Content Villain is still available for 11 hours. So guys, Content Villain, I'm not promoting. If you guys want to buy it, go buy it. You still have 60 days to refund. Test it out. If you like it, go for it. If you don't like it, just refund it, right? So thank you for joining. We'll see you guys next time. Alston, thanks for coming, buddy. I know I know this wasn't planned. It was unplanned, but it was fun, right? You make it
Yeah,
fun.
basically, I had my birthday yesterday, so I wanted to keep this day as a rest day for me. I cancelled all my meeting. So when
So
he
guys,
asked me,
so I thought it was your birthday was yesterday, or you cut the
yeah,
cake yesterday.
we are in different time zones, right? So it's finished for me.
It's finished
So
for you.
yesterday, yeah. So today, it's mostly a rest day. So when you wanted to see and especially talk about AI writing, I, as I told you, right, I don't check on all the AI tools. You wouldn't believe me how many AI outreach, new SEO AI outreach tools I get into my DM asking this we are coming with a new development tool for this tool. Can you test it out and see and do a video on it, something like that. So there are so many tools are coming onto the market. I'm pretty what do I say, I'm over obsessed with this, checking on all the tools, and now I'm taking a break from AI tools. I'm happy with what are the things I got. So I wanted to see guys your opinion also on all the AI tools and see whether that is good or not.
Yeah, so guys, just buy what you need. These tools are all. We don't know what the future is for all these tools. Just buy, use it, and use it every day.
And also you don't need this is what I'm keep on repeating to most of my friends also, that, and I'm also repeating to myself also, you
Exactly.
don't need every single good tool. It might be a good tool, it might be a perfect tool, but you might not need it for yourself. Only pick what are the, even if they say that this is really good tool, like Suleiman is always trying to buy you, make you buy something, so don't listen to them. I come to chat, he's like, Alston, you need to check out WebStarts. I'm like, no way, I'm not going into that road, I'm not going to check into that. And today and yesterday was sending me another one. So only buy what are the things you need and you can immediately use to make better stuff.
There was something I sent you today in the message. Though there was a service one. The service one
Yeah,
was. Remember we talked about that thing, right? I don't know if you
yeah.
remember. Remember I told you that there should be a LTD where we can offer a service, and you remember, right? That was
Yeah, yeah,
our
yeah.
first talk
I'm
that
still
we had.
I'm confident in that and saying that trust and dependability will be the issue on
I,
that.
I,
And
eh, I,
they need to make them trustable.
I know. I thought I'll go away and start doing my work, but what Alston said, I can't resist. I had to be back. It's like kettle calling the pot black. Alston, you are saying that Suleiman will force you, will create a FOMO and all those things. You know, it's you, bugger, who is doing that to me by revealing all the truth.
You know
I
what?
stopped that. I
I,
stopped that.
I
You are
feel
not going around and forming everyone.
I know,
I feel
and like a saint, you are saying Suleiman will force you to buy. Don't go with FOMO and all those things.
maybe a lot of people already thinking that maybe I work for AppSumo or something.
And
So
this
no.
guy, Suleiman,
That's why.
uh,
That's why you got a. That's why you got a software which is worth $1,428 at
and
$1.42, and with a 10% discount off Absumo Plus of
And
briefcase.
also, the crazy thing is, you wouldn't believe me. I skipped his FOMO. When Suleiman suggested me WebStart, I said all the negative things I feel about this. I moved away. And this guy comes again and make a new post saying that this speed is really good, this service is really good. Oh, if someone else is making a post, he's commenting into that section and say, and today I legitimately went into AppSumo and wanted to try it out WebStart, and I was thankful that it already expired, so I didn't make any purchase
Oh my!
doing. I
But did
want.
you see? But did you see? There's
Same thing
a.
that happened. I saw WebStart, and from beginning I said it's a part. And this guy is doing some video, and then I said,
Yeah.
okay, am I missing something? And then I went and I almost put it in my cart. And then I said, okay,
Did you
I
buy?
already have.
Did you
I
buy it or
already have.
no?
I know I didn't. I already have swipe pages and
I'm gonna
templates.
make some
What
website.
the
I'm
hell
gonna
am I
show
going
you
to do
those.
with web stacks?
I
I'm
went
gonna.
to buy it out and trust it. Then I saw the expired message. I was like, okay, I'm getting a message from Evan to not to go down this path again. So I'm just going to stick with WordPress and everything.
Yeah. Yesterday, these guys almost made me get a cold turkey with this web trends
Web
optimize.
trends optimized. It's good, man.
And
It's good. You
man,
missed out. Trust me. You
in
missed
the
out.
middle of the
You wanna
night,
see the?
they are discussing. In the middle of the night, these guys are discussing in the group, and I like, okay, should I sleep or should I buy this? And I go to AppSumo, it says that only 4 hours pending, and finally they never
And
gave me a judgment
and being a Sumo Plus member also doesn't help me. I'm a Plus member, so even if it expired for regular member, it still say you can still buy with Plus member. So I was like, okay, you are good.
They
Oh my
got us
god!
big time, buddy. So guys, just buy what you guys need. Don't listen to any influencer. See if you guys need it, you buy it, and you still get 60 days. So you, if you are buying from AppSumo, you get 60 days, and there's others have different policy, which I don't know.
And also
So
sometimes any LTD which comes into marketplace, they will have a fully featured trial most of the time without credit card information. So if you prefer, try to just a trial so you can avoid refunding all this messy stuff. If you can basically decide within 5 minutes whether this is something for you or not. So that's easy it is.
that's the same thing with I did
So
with PageMaker because I really liked it, but I didn't want to buy it. So I don't know if I'm going to be buying it. I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to keep trying it to see if I can get used to it. So, but
And also,
that's my thing.
I'm not going to recommend any more deals to Venki, even that turns out to be good. I'm not going to do that. He's calling me
no.
everywhere that
So
I'm the devil. I'm the devil for.
Alston, I will come and visit you, and I'll blame you.
He's going everywhere and blaming me, but he is not mentioning all the good deals he got because of me. So,
Absolutely, Alston. I have a lot of respect for you. I share a great brotherhood with you, and
this is
as a as a
no,
brother.
I wouldn't forget Venki because when I asked for video testimonials, he was the first person to give it to me. I will never forget that. And he's so much fun. We can never guess his age from all his excitement or anything like that. He's like younger than us or something like that. He goes there, tries almost all the products, comes into market, and just happy to share everything with us, right?
Exactly.
Thank you. And in fact, I'm just trying to keep terms with you, young people like you. That is what is keeping me, energized. And in fact, I love pulling your legs,
And almost me and Winky looks the same. I'm looking with black hair, but he's with the white hair. There's really no difference there. You can see, right?
okay, brother, my younger brother.
Just
Take care,
give
guys.
Vinke a couple of weeks. You will see him in a
Okay,
different avatar.
sure, definitely. Once all this lockdown
COVID.
gets over, then you will see me in a different avatar when I start meeting my customers. Um,
All right, guys.
So finally, a tip to beat your FOMO. If at all you find Suleiman or Alston in any of the videos, just don't watch it.
Thank you. You are in most of the videos. You know that, right?
No. And finally, before we leave, please full stack Flolo.
Full stack what? Full stack what?
It's another LTD.
Which one? Let me write it down. Can you please?
Don't
Follow.
do
Oh
that.
yeah,
Don't
I
do
have it.
that.
I have it on my card already.
I
I
skip
have it.
that.
All right. Are we
Okay,
are we
bye.
leaving? Bye. See you
Yeah,
guys.
take care, guys.
Take care,
Catch you
guys.
soon.
Bye. Good.
And
Hey,
stay
bye,
safe, guys.
Alston. Once
Cheers.
again, a happy birthday and
Happy
have a great
birthday.
year, buddy.
Thank you so
May
much,
all your
guys.
dreams come true this year and whatever
Yeah.
you want
Yeah,
to accomplish.
my dream is to make Venki buy all the LTD. So that hopefully comes true. Let's see.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Thanks for
Take
joining,
care.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.